yeah, I didn't expect that.
So
And
Germany's so slow, really.
yeah, I mean, yeah, with terms of cash,
Yeah.
it reminds me of home a bit. Actually, like some restaurant here in Thailand also doesn't accept card because they, can I say it? Tax
Yeah.
evasion.
You can say it.
Yeah.
It's the
Tax-
same in Germany too. I
Yeah.
mean, some of them are just like, no, cash only, cash only. And it's like, okay, we know what you're up to. We know.
Yeah.
It's okay, take my cash.
Yes, yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pod Abroad. My name is Paulina, and just for some context, I'm an American who has been living in Munich, Germany the last 8+ years. But today I am in Bangkok, Thailand. Woo-woo. The Pod Abroad is actually going abroad, and I'm joined by my good friend Ong.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
So just some background, how did Ong and I meet is we both studied the same master's program at the Technical University of Munich, Sustainable Resource Management. And can you believe, Ong, that was like almost 10 years ago
Wow, yeah.
that we started. We were children. Oh my God.
We were the youngest, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I was 21 when I
Yeah.
started the program.
I was like 22 or something.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're growing up. Like it's almost been 10 years. So we started our program in 2016. It's been a journey. So yeah, maybe Ong, if you can introduce yourself, a little bit about who you are. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm Ong. Like to be clear, Ong is like a nickname. So normally if you Google me, it's like where's that exists. But like here, I'm studying in Germany, like with Paulina from a master. Here right now, I'm like consultant here, work here in Bangkok, here
Nice.
in Thailand. And then I also stay abroad quite often as well. Like my
Yeah.
bachelor, I was in Finland as well. And then do a couple of internship in the States. And yeah, that's my brief story so far.
Yeah, I love you. Thanks for introducing yourself.
Yeah.
I wanted to kick off and speak about it's called the Pod Abroad, about your time abroad, and ask you first. So you were born and raised here in Bangkok, right?
Yeah.
What was your first ever experience going abroad? Like maybe not even living abroad, just like leaving Thailand.
Traveling, that would be, I think, first time traveling, like actually traveling, that would be Switzerland.
Yeah.
I think I flew, it was like in the 10th grade or something.
With the school, with your family?
No, with my family. But just only like short trip.
Yeah.
So like we visited Switzerland and just a bit of France, like just Paris. And yeah, that was my first time. It was really long. I couldn't recall much as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So you don't think like you appreciated it?
No, I appreciate
much.
it. Actually, it's kicked off my enthusiasm for like traveling abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. And every year we did this, like during
so
the
you
Chinese
were
New Year's.
old enough to like be like, wow, this is so different and
it's
nice.
really changed. And then after that, every year we do like a trip with my family. Yes.
That's cool. Yeah. So you guys have like background in like traveling internationally. It's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's starting from that trip. It's like kind of a ritual for 10 years or something that we did at least once every year for going abroad.
That's super nice. And then you said, so you have lived in Finland, you've lived a bit in the US, you've lived in Germany. What was the start of that experience? Was Finland the first time that you actually like lived abroad?
Yeah. So in my third year of my bachelor, I took it's not Erasmus, it's actually American scholarships. Like it's, even I'm not good at the names, like ISEP or something, which I couldn't remember the abbreviation anymore.
Yeah.
And then, I truly live outside. Like, so that was like one semester, like 5 to 6 months in Finland, in Helsinki. And it was like that really started everything.
Yeah. Were you nervous when you first went? Like you were in your bachelor's degree. It was the first time you were speaking English probably like every single day, right?
Yeah, true. I was pretty nervous, but I was also, it's my decision as well. I didn't plan that much. I was like, back then I was like, yeah, I really want to go abroad. And then I just picked the furthest north of the list of universities. So like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna pick this one.
Yeah.
And then, okay, University of Helsinki, which is like almost up to the North Pole.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was cold.
Oh my
I took
gosh.
the winter semester as well.
Oh my gosh.
So I was able to see the northern light and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was a bit nervous. Like the first few days was pretty lost for me.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, and the Finnish people is not that open as well, right?
So it's hard culturally.
Yeah. And then I managed to have fun a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't manage to have a lot of Finnish friends because they're quite close, but I managed to join because we went in the same group with like Erasmus people.
Yeah.
So I party every day
Nice.
and then drinking a lot as well.
Party's a universal language,
Yes,
right? Especially in your bachelor's
alcohol.
degree.
Yes, and people party like crazy. Yeah, and
Especially because it's the winter, right?
you don't have anything to do.
I've
right?
heard like, like they say like, all the famous DJs of the world come from like the Nordic
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's because like you end up DJing because like, and drinking because there's not a ton of other things to do.
Yeah.
Unless you're very sporty.
Yeah, and the sun goes down like at 4 p.m.
Crazy.
and then it comes up. I was there in the midwinter, so it was like 11 as the sun comes up
Oh.
and then goes down at like 3 p.m. So you don't have anything aside.
Oh.
If you're not partying, you end up in the room
yeah.
cold.
Like sad,
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah. So all the time. Actually, the Finnish people has back then it was the highest alcohol consumption in the world or
Oh my
something. Yeah.
gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's expensive too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. It's hard like when you're like the one thing you're going to cope with
Yeah.
the cold is like expensive. But speaking of expensive alcohol, we noticed like the beers here cost more in Bangkok than they do in Germany.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's one thing that I dislike.
Yeah.
And they have this weird time like
Yeah.
prohibitions like from 2 to 5 you cannot buy alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
they put tax on alcohol. So one thing I like in Germany is like the beer is so cheap there.
Yeah,
Cheaper than
it
water.
is.
Yeah,
It
cheaper
is.
than water. So yeah.
In a lot of situations, yes. Like a
Yes.
sparkling water in Munich today, like you can get for like €6 or something, a carafe. And then like the beer might be 4
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
$3.50. Depends where you're at. So speaking of Germany, like let's talk about your journey from moving from Bangkok to Munich. What was that like? Like, did you always know that you wanted to do a full master's abroad, or were you just curious? Like, how was the decision made?
Oh yeah. Actually, I would say I always knew that I would want to go abroad for the master.
Yeah,
I mean, for the country-wise, for the university-wise, I didn't think that much.
yeah.
I mean, I applied certain universities.
To many different ones.
Yeah.
In Europe,
and-
or
Yeah, in Europe. US as well, I looked through. But I mean, their TUM came up first.
yeah,
And then it's also free as well. You
At
only
the
have to pay
time.
like 140 or something, right?
yeah.
And it's famous university as well. So I took it, did it, and then I stopped looking at somewhere else. And also, there's also part that it's not about university and everything, but back then because I studied political science, I really want to a bit move to the natural science because
Yeah.
social science difficult to find jobs here, maybe somewhere else
Anywhere,
as well.
I
Yeah,
feel like.
right. So I need something. It's Master of Science,
Yeah.
the one that we study. So I really need something to improve my salaries, right? When I go back. So that's also the reason. And yeah, then so I decide and I all in, and then
Yeah.
Germany.
You mentioned that it was free, and I can totally agree with you on that. For me, like, it was a no-brainer, right? Like the fact that like we studied and a tuition free, we just had to pay like the €140 semester, I think,
Yeah.
fee.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like for me, as coming from the U.S., like with how expensive universities are in my home country, I couldn't imagine. I was like, wow, like I get to move to Germany and I don't have to take student loans. Like
Yeah.
that's easy. Why not? But did you know actually that they're charging now for
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
international
yeah.
students? They just changed it, I think, a
saw
year
that.
ago. And do you know how much they're charging?
I think it's like 20 something.
6,000 per
Wow.
semester.
Per semester, yeah. Okay.
Per
so
semester.
12.
So if
a
you're
year.
taking a 2-year, it's 24 1,000
I
euro.
think that's almost the US or
Yes.
something.
Yeah. Very much like US
Yes.
level expenses for
Yeah.
international students. And that made me so sad. Because I was like, I wouldn't have gone, I think. If I had to pay that much, maybe I wouldn't have moved to Germany.
Same. It's if I have to pay that much, I would consider some like the US or the UK
Yeah.
because it's the same price already.
True.
Almost. Yeah. So yeah,
True.
same.
It makes you think twice, right? So this is our message to the Technical University of Munich. This is what you're doing at diversity. We would have never gone to TUM if it had been that expensive. And I really hope that they figure that out and that TUM stays diverse. Because I think we can say, like, from our master's program, oh my gosh, it was like a mini UN.
Yeah.
Right?
We have like, we always go to the like bars and stuff, and then people are like so amazed by our groups. Like,
where are you from?
where
And
the
like
hell
it's
is
like 9 different people from 9 different countries.
And that's really makes the program very exciting.
For sure.
I think if like a lot of reason why people hang on, because I think one of the first few semester, a lot of people left, right?
Yeah.
People left. And then a
It
lot
was
of
rocky.
people,
The program itself.
decide to stay on because
The
it's
people.
the friends.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree. Like, all in all, like, I think our master's program, like, maybe the program itself wasn't super organized, but I think, like, the things that you get out of it, like having it on your CV,
Yeah.
like international experience, like meeting so many people from all around the world. Like, if it wasn't for our master's program, like, I wouldn't know you.
Yeah.
And like, and you're the only person I know here in Bangkok now. And I think that's really cool, how it connected so many of us, and we got to learn about each other's cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And-
the most important. I think friends is actually what I really got out the most from the program, aside from the CVs and stuff. But
Yeah.
I think for you as well, I guess.
Absolutely. I was thinking earlier today how Alejandro like would always call you Onguito.
Yes.
Like, oh, like all his comments today. I was like thinking back, I was like, wow, like 10 years almost 10 years like since our program. Like time flies by. So you moved to Munich, right? And say like it was your first week there. What were your first impressions? Had you been to Germany before?
Actually, no. I mean, I travel a lot.
Yeah.
By that time, before I went to Germany, is already like two times abroad already. I mean, but I think from my first week in Germany, I'll say a lot of housing crisis. Back then,
oh my gosh, it's the same. It's worse. It's worse. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is that the only thing was I was so worried about is finding a house.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have, and Germans are like, Germany is very bureaucratic, right?
Yeah.
So everything when you want to open open this and that and whatever that's necessary for your life.
Yeah.
Banks and whatever, phones stuff, like you need an address.
Yes.
Yes, and that's very struggle for me.
Exactly. Like the Anmeldung, the registering. It's so complicated, right? They're like, the banks are like, we need that registration, and then the apartments are like, we need a bank account.
Yeah, it's going in
like,
circle.
Like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
How did you end up finding an apartment? Did you live in?
No,
lived in
because
Munich, right?
I got a help from Rome, and Rome, and I stayed with
and
Mo.
our other Thai colleague.
Yeah, and stay with Mo as well.
Yeah.
So we were like group of friends already, and we stuck in this house, and that house got us survive actually.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we got an address.
Yeah.
To find all the stuff.
All the essential things. Get a
yeah.
bank account. Like, tell the university I have a place to live now.
And that's my first week.
Yeah.
Because we have no time to do anything else, right?
Yeah.
Just this. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that was everyone. Like, we were all like, oh my gosh, where are we gonna live? Like, trying to figure it out. Is it the same? Like, if someone were to move to Bangkok, like, do you think it's that hard to find a place?
The place, if you have money, no. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, the same in Munich.
Yeah.
If you have €1,000 per month, like, you can find something quick.
Yeah. But here in Thailand, I guess if you're not live a bit further,
Yeah.
you can always find a room like in condominium and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that, compared to Munich, Munich is more difficult,
Yeah.
I would say. And to open whatever, like the bank, except for the bank accounts, like, but for the phones and stuff, actually they're not asking for many documents. Like I'm pretty sure with the SIM card, if it's postpaid or whatever, you simply need an just passport. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So let's also go back to the first few months there. Were there any big cultural differences? I mean, like you said, you had already been to a few European countries, and people are gonna hate me saying this, but once you've seen a few European countries like Switzerland, like there's some similarities, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like in Europe, when you compare it to, I guess, Bangkok or the US, it's just so different in the sense that like there's a city center,
Yeah.
walkable, a big church or a big something. Like they're all kind of similar in that way. But did you have any culture shocks like the first few months, like between like German culture, international student culture, and like the Thai culture that you grew up with?
I think if I can just focus on for Germany, I think maybe it's more or less about my expectation. Like before I went there, I always had a picture of German efficiencies and stuff. And one thing I surprised is that, okay, first thing is bureaucracies. Like, wow, this is like, I thought it's gonna be very efficient.
Fast,
Because I was
efficient.
in the Nordic country and it's quite efficient. And they also said German is the most efficient in Europe, right? But then the tons of paper.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's just, now I understand why like bureaucracy is invented in Germany by
Yeah.
Max Weber, right? Which is now the name in the U-Bahn. So it's, oh man, this is tons of paper. I didn't expect it. And also cash,
True. Oh my
heavy,
gosh.
intensive. Like because in the Nordic, everything is, by the time that like, I think I was there in like 2015, everything was paid by card already. I mean, Thailand is not that good as well, but I mean, I went there in Germany, I expect card everywhere, but surprisingly, I have to carry cash and coins all the time. Yeah.
It's still like that.
Oh, really?
Even now.
Wow.
Yeah. In the US, like where I'm from in Texas, like whenever I go to visit, sometimes for 2 weeks, I don't take cash out once.
Yeah.
Not even once.
Yeah.
You just tap to pay, like tap, 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 tap. You never ever need cash really.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
I think I was in Chicago. I pay mostly by card too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my expect. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
That Germany's so slow. Really.
Yeah, I mean, with terms of cash.
Yeah.
It reminds me of home a bit. Actually, like some restaurant here in Thailand also doesn't accept card because can I say it? Tax evasion.
You can say it.
Yeah.
It's the same in Germany too. I
Yeah.
mean, some of them are just like, no, cash only, cash only. And it's like, okay, we know what you're up to. We know.
Yeah.
It's okay, take my cash.
yes. And last but not least is I surprised actually. This is a compliment to you all Germans that I'm super surprised how punctual you are given the Deutsche Bahn.
True.
Yeah,
Given the
yeah.
delays, they like plan probably thinking there's gonna be a delay, and they're still on time.
Yeah, I admire that, like,
Right?
because I mean, I have to talk about Asia, but I mean in terms, just in Europe.
Yeah.
If your train is keeps delaying, I'm pretty sure you're not punctual.
True.
Yeah, but
The Germans find a way.
Yeah. That's really. But I also amazed how unpunctual
Yeah.
Deutsche Bahn are. Like, yeah.
It still
I didn't
is.
have. I didn't expect this. Yeah.
It still is. Oh my gosh.
But
like,
not to say Thailand train is good. It's also non-existent.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, just my expectations.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Moving on, we're gonna go to section 2, where I want to talk about your journey back to moving to Bangkok.
Yep.
So you moved to Munich in 2016, and were there for what, 2 years?
2 years. Yeah.
2 years. Did you always know that it was just gonna be 2 years and that you wanted to move back, or what was that like when you were thinking about it? Like, did you know, like, oh, it's time. It's been a long 2 years.
I think it's the latter. Like, I didn't think much. I think it kickstarted with the internship.
Yeah.
Thanks Alejandro as well. Like, Alejandro's mother, like, she knows a person here, like the EU program.
Really?
Yeah. I got an
What?
internship because of Alejandro's
I didn't
mother.
know that.
Yeah.
Here, back in Bangkok.
Yeah. Because
Crazy.
during the third semester that we have to look, like, I sending out like my resume like crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then I got a EU program here called Switch Asia, and then I got an internship, the one that we have to do. We all
we
have
had a
to,
mandatory one.
Yeah, and then so I got it here 5 months, and it happens when you kind of have an internship here. You know people, like business things, and then it really connect me to another employee, whatever.
Yeah.
So it built up CV. So by the time that I got the next job after graduation and everything, now then probably I have to settle back at home.
Yeah.
But that's the really kickstart.
Yeah. But how did you feel about it? Were you excited? Like with the opportunities, the work opportunities, or did you miss life in Germany?
I mean, I just miss a bit. I mean, when I complete my internship, I went back for like a 3 week or something, trying to settle everything. Oh, sorry, like 2 months in Germany.
Wow. Closing the bank accounts, making
like
sure
also
everything.
complete with my thesis as well.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I think I still want to explore more, travel more. But by that time, it's like, okay, I think I'm complete with my German journey already.
Yeah. It felt like a good time.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
But I didn't think much about like staying and stuff. It's just more or less by that time it's about adult life, like work and stuff.
Yeah. And like to have the opportunities that you did of having a good internship, like getting to meet people and getting another offer, it probably just made sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you have any reverse culture shock when you came home? Were you just like, oh, this is crazy? Or were you just like, oh, I'm back home?
Yeah. One thing I found out, like Thai people walk slow, super slow. Thai people, like I didn't think like this before. I didn't realize.
You thought it was just normal.
Yeah, but then I stay for like a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
And people like stroll all the time.
Yeah.
Like stroll. Speed is like super slow and I'm frustrated. Until today, actually, like until like nowadays, like but perhaps because we live in super hot and climate like this, it's actually if you walk fast, you sweat more and stuff.
Dripping.
So I think that's the reason, but it's frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's funny.
I walk fast like German now, someday.
Yeah. I love that. No, but I will have to say I've adopted the Thai way and I'm walking like a turtle these days. It is so incredibly hot. Like Tim and I have been going to like different temples here in Bangkok and everything. And I swear it's like 9:30 in the morning and we're literally like, just struggling. Like you feel slow.
Yeah.
Like your brain feels slow. Therefore, you're walking slow and everything. I mean, I knew Thailand was hot, but I didn't imagine like this hot in, what month are we in? March. Yeah, soon.
April is the hottest time of the year anyway.
Really?
Yeah. So actually, it's going to get worse, then it's going to get better.
Yeah.
But better for us, it's still hot for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, too warm for you.
No, it's a different life for sure.
Yeah.
But what would you say you miss the most about life in Germany?
I think, I mean, the beer is
Yeah.
very good. Beer here is not good. I think in Munich at least, I think Germany overall, very accessible. Like if you don't have cars and everything. I mean, okay, Deutsche Bahn is delayed or something, but I appreciated it.
It still goes.
Yeah, it goes to very a tiny village, whatever, it
True.
goes. Like the government really invests to build a station out of nowhere. And this wouldn't happen anywhere else. In a capitalist country like this, because it doesn't make profit, right?
Yeah.
Then they're not gonna build a tiny stations in middle of nowhere. But that's what I really appreciate about Germany. I mean, here you have to have cars. If you don't have cars, I mean, it's struggle. I mean, for tourists and foreigners is something else. But for us, if you live in the village or whatever, you need cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah, it's the same in Texas. If you don't have a car, like your livelihood is really hard. I mean, like it's really hard to make a living because even like in a household, like my dad lives with my two brothers and there's 3 vehicles, 3 people, 3 vehicles. Like because you have to get to work and work could be on different sides of town. And for like Germans to hear this, they're just like, what? Like that's too many cars or like, but I mean, it's just such a different society.
Actually, like, I don't know if we have time to talk about that. That actually my culture shock in LA.
Yeah, tell me about the US.
Because when I flew from Chicago to LA for a trip, basically just to want to see it. And I mean, we all know that the LA is probably the second largest city in the US after New York, right? And when I arrived, I know that there's like a metro LA, but it's so difficult to find. And it's on Google Maps, but when we walk there, that's like, where's the station? So I didn't expect that even the second largest city, like one of the most famous city in the world, like LA, is like almost public transportation is not existent. Like you really need to rent a car. Yeah, and that's like
I've heard.
I didn't expect this level of non-existent public transportation.
And we
in
say
LA.
like we're like such a developed nation, blah 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 blah. The U.S. is like so ahead in technology. Yeah, right. Like when you like, compare it to other countries and their public transport, like it's a different world. In Texas, we don't have good public transport at all in any major city that you go to. I've never been to LA. I've never been to California.
Oh, really?
Never.
Yeah.
But I've heard that also LA like doesn't have good public transport, and that like the traffic also, I mean, similar to Bangkok, is just insane.
I think like in the eastern part of the U.S., like it's more city than the west of the U.S. Like west is kind of, the city is kind of spread
a bit.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
not sure about
gosh.
Texas.
I would say Texas is pretty similar in a sense to Bangkok. Like in this, I mean, like Bangkok is a mega city, but like our big cities in Texas, like when we've been on the highway here, like I see a lot of similarities to life in Texas in a sense of like crazy traffic, crazy drivers. I will say though, oh my gosh, Bangkok like gives me headaches, man. I've been here 3 days, and like the biggest difference is that we don't have so many people on motorcycles.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, and they're crazy here. Like every 2 seconds, I think someone's gonna get hit. Like, and somehow nobody gets hit, and like it works.
You have to go to Vietnam or something, there will be more motorcycles.
Even worse.
Yeah, even more.
Oh my gosh. No, like for me, like this is already very, very intense.
Oh, actually, I recall one culture shock for me in Europe. Is that, not just in Germany, but in Europe, is that about public toilet.
Yeah.
It's not free.
True.
Like you pay so much taxes.
Yeah.
But like, I thought everyone has to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. In the US and Thailand, public toilet is mostly free, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
True.
But in Europe, like they cost you crazy. Like in Munich, it's like €2 or something.
Yeah, at some places.
Just to take a piss.
At the central station last week, I think it was $150. And I'm like, what? Just to use this restroom? But I will say, I have two comments on that. Sometimes the restrooms in Texas are nasty. Like you go to a gas station and it's just like terrifying. There's like blood on the wall, like drips. And like, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get sick. Like it's bad. So sometimes I'm like, maybe it's worth to pay to have a good, clean restroom. But I mean, it does suck in general that you pay for water in Germany, that you pay for restrooms in Germany. And on a comment comparing it with Bangkok, today I had an experience with a public restroom at one of the stations. I mean, it was pretty clean, but I didn't know that you have to buy, there was a little machine, this was a culture shock for me, where you buy your tissues.
Oh yeah.
To use.
Yeah, there's some.
So the restroom itself is free. I mean, I think it was like 5 baht or something.
Yeah.
Something really inexpensive when it's converted into US dollar. But I didn't know because my dad was like, take the tissues. And I was like, what? And because when I went to the restroom, there's no toilet paper.
Yeah.
Is that to reduce waste?
Not really. I think like if you go to the really, really like public bathroom run by the government or like not run by the city. Yeah, they may not give you anything. Like they simply say that they already give you a free toilet and like free water, whatever to clean your
Figure the rest out.
But like in the department store, if it's private building like this, they give you everything. More so and for free as well. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's also the thing is that not just public toilet, but like went to the mall in Munich, like they also not go in for free as well.
True. You pay like everywhere.
Yeah.
Or give people, like there's people like wanting tips for the restroom.
But actually that is European thing, it's not German thing. Like all across, I went to like Poland, like Hungary, Baltic, whatever. If it's Europe, you're paying for the toilet.
It's hard. I appreciate at least in the US, not paying for water and not paying for the restroom. That's something that is a small win. Do you pay for tap water here? But people don't drink tap water.
Yeah.
Right?
You pay for water because you don't drink tap water.
True.
Yeah.
True. People don't drink tap water here.
Yeah.
That's a cultural difference. I don't also like drink tap water in Texas, but we have like a pitcher with like a filter or something. But it's like it is drinkable. Like you can go to a restaurant in the U.S. and like get free tap water, and it should be good.
Yeah.
For the most part. So I want to jump into the last segment, talking a little bit about politics, culture, identity.
Sure.
Let's get into it. I mean, so much has happened in the last, the beginning of this year, 2025, the last 2 months. In January was the inauguration in the US. Last week, about a week ago or so, we had the German elections. I don't know if you followed any of that.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah,
I studied political science.
True. I know you were always in our masters like talking politics, which
Yes.
I love. I love talking politics. What would you say? First off, maybe you can give me your take on everything that's going on as a Thai person, and then I want to know what's Ong's take on all of this happening in the world, and then maybe what you can speak as an ambassador for Thailand and say like, what do you think the general public? What do they think? What's their take? And do they even care? Do they talk about it on the media here? Or does it like not even mention, no one cares? So.
Okay, that's many questions.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no. First off, like your feelings. Like.
Okay. I mean, personally, I think that maybe first of all, I thank myself like, actually that I made a good timing to be in Germany to study.
Yeah.
To complete everything of my life journeys, like to the US, to Finland, whatever. Because I just learned that, I mean, seeing the German politics, I think more, not in the US, but in Europe, like Gen Z are like really going right wing.
Yeah.
Y is actually we are the last of generation Y, right? Gen Y is more left wing.
Yeah.
And then Gen Z is going right wing. So actually people younger than us in Europe are like going more right wing. It's either left or right, but I saw the statistic actually from Deutsche Welle as well. Like, so I was like, wow, actually if I younger and I have to start studying, I don't know how difficult it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like for example, more regulations, more immigration regulations, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and also not know like how people is gonna think of foreigner like me as well. So actually I did it at the right timing. So that's my personal take.
Yeah. That it would be harder right now, like in 2025 as an immigrant in either country.
Yeah. And I love to, I know like as a tourist going there, it's different. One thing that I always learn is that as a tourist traveling to the most touristy places, actually you're quite safe. No one's gonna come and like you, blah, blah, blah. But what I love is that I go to bars, you know me, like go to bars and I go to local places.
Yeah.
That's the place where you can find people who are not like foreigners.
Yeah.
Because, bars and like, for example, like the UK's pubs is where
the locals
locals go. So back then the atmosphere is more welcoming perhaps. Maybe I don't know because I'm not live as a student anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my personal take.
Do you think it's all a little crazy, or were you expecting this evolution in politics, with the right rising up right now in the U.S. and Germany?
With the U.S., I still like quite surprised, but I mean, with Europe, I kind of understand it. I expect this to come. I mean, like, that's to be fair as well. I'm not like I say like I can see because I've been to many European cities. I mean, like a lot of migrants doesn't integrate well. So there's a lot of diaspora, and as a local, if you see diaspora, they feel threatened because so, and then that's something that you cannot stop. I mean, for us, with international students, we don't feel that. But if you're like thinking from like people who like farmers and stuff, like you, I know that this come, And it's you can see the trends, like they're getting more people voted for them over the years.
Yeah.
For Europe, I understand. For the US, it's actually quite surprised. Like, I mean, it was like always swing
Yeah.
because like it's like Trump and then Biden and Trump again.
Yeah.
And Trump got a lot of votes as well.
I
like
was shocked.
Yeah, like 300
I
stuff.
honestly, like on election day, I was surprised. I was shocked. Maybe I was dumb or naive, but I didn't think it was going to be
This much.
that much.
Yeah.
I didn't. As an American. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was surprised, like, I mean, for Europe, like, the establishment is left-wing for Europe. I mean, the left, at least the centrist and the left-wing party rule so long, except for the UK. But then every time when you're young, when you always against the establishment, right? That's why the Gen Z is like. But then, like, in the US, it's kind of surprise. Still the things that, Trump, like, really come back
Yeah.
from those Capitol riot days. So I was really surprised that things happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can only agree that I was surprised as well. But you know what? I always say it now, like, I think people, like the people who voted for him are gonna live and see the results of it. So that's up to them. Right now, they made their decision.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes I feel like guilty that I live in Germany. Like, oh, like I can just be like, oh, la la la, like that doesn't affect me. But my friends and family like live in the U.S. So I do feel very concerned, like a lot. I guess we can only just hope that the next 4 years aren't like an entire shit show. Though it's been 2 months and it feels like it is.
I think like Texas will be one of the places that, I don't know, I have to ask you because will be the most impacted, I guess, because I mean, a lot of agricultural, it's run by migrants, right? I mean, if without
Absolutely.
migrants, then nobody's gonna pick up, I don't know.
Tell them, tell them.
Right?
And you're here in Bangkok and you understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, tell it to the people in the
The
US.
Texas vote for
Seriously,
Trump, right?
yeah. Like exactly, who's gonna be picking their berries? Who's gonna be planting the citrus and feeding America?
Yeah.
Seriously, it's a really huge issue right now and heartbreaking, especially coming from Texas, where I grew up 10 minutes from the Mexican border. Immigration is such a hard topic, and it's not black and white. It's not simple. It's not easy. The system is very complicated, and it doesn't allow easy pathways for people who have even worked. Because some people say like, oh, well, just apply and do it the right way. Work hard. Some people have been waiting like over 10 years for an appointment.
Yeah.
And the U.S. is just so complicated. No, it's really sad.
What is the second question? I forgot.
Back like to the general topic. So like when we talk about perception in the media in Thailand, because I just mentioned like the U.S. like my world is so revolved around like U.S. and Germany right now. U.S. Germany, like because and they're both crazy at the moment. I feel like the politics are a bit. I mean, crazy is maybe not the word to say. Like there's just a lot to say about the political situations right now in both the U.S. and in Germany. But that's my world. What does what's the general public perception of it? Like, is the media here in Thailand talking about the U.S.?
Yeah, the U.S. Okay, I think the general public, many people don't care that much. Like but there's also a lot of talks, like a lot of media talks about it, like middle class. Mostly they talk about like concern about the trade embargo and stuff, like trade war.
Yeah, and tariffs.
Tariffs, because Trump threatened. That's the talking points.
Yeah.
That's all the Thai cares. Like, because whether it's gonna affect the export or not.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, like, because US is one of the biggest market as well. But not anymore. I think the biggest is like China, because we're so close to them. But yeah, that's the conversation really focus around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. General public, like they don't care much as whether it's Trump or Biden. So it doesn't really affect their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I love thinking about a country in this case, that doesn't care so much. I told myself on this trip that I'm not going to read the news for 2 weeks. because I'm someone that like reads it multiple times
But
a
you
day.
read it.
I did. I did, and I shouldn't have. So, Ong, you've lived in the U.S. and Finland, in Germany, visited many countries. If you could create a country, fun question. If you could just create a country and take the best parts of all the places you've lived, what would that look like?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
You just think of like your favorite parts.
I think like there are also good things from each country. I would say like if we can have a country like is like quite an equal like the Germany, but then we pick up something else like the payments or whatever, like from Finland or whatever. That's from the Nordic. That's good.
Efficiency.
Yeah. From the US, actually, I like several things. You have to know that actually Thailand is more similar to the US than the
Germany.
Europe because US was the one who's built a lot of things this country. So I think like in terms of at the end of the day, as a foreigner, I think one thing that I would say that I would bring into this whatever country is that the US is at the end of the day is more open. The new world is always more open than the old world. If I can speak English like this in the States, I'm American.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm American. Like, unfortunately, in Europe, I'm not talking about just Germany. In Europe, it's the old world. I understand it's thousands of years of history, right?
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try, where you from? That's the question, right? Where you really from is always the question. That's always the question that I saw. I mean, I couldn't speak German, but I mean, with other people that like our classmates who speak perfect Germans.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people still ask where you're really from.
Yeah.
And even someone asks our friend like Michael, like in the US, like I'm American. He said like, no, where you really from? Yeah, that's
like from
really,
the US.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, that's the thing I really want to bring from the US. That at the end of the day, you're a melting pot. Okay, you have Trump, whatever, but the people there eventually is like the melting pot, really melting pot. Like you speak perfect English, then you're Americans.
Or not even perfect English. Like you speak English in general, even if it's broken English, and like you can be American.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty, I think, of our country is just how diverse it is. I love that you bring that up because I think it's very, very easy for people to see the media of our politics in the US. I have a lot of like Germans that have told me actually like, oh, the US is such a bad place, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, so you've been? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what? Like, because it's one thing to see what's on the news and like you were there, like you lived in the US for a summer. Chicago is such a diverse metropolitan city, like Bangkok, but mini. And at the end of the day, I do feel like we have an open culture. And that's like people who have never been to the US don't understand that.
Yeah.
If they're only reading the news. Like I think on the ground, we're super diverse, super open, especially compared to Germans.
Actually, that's the thing. I think like it's a kind of similar question. Like if I have to I think I have decided this for a long time as well. Like if I have to relocate it, I have no choice. For example, if I have to be like refugees or whatever.
Yeah.
If I have to relocate it, to be fair, I'll choose America. As a Thai. First of all, like, I mean, it's maybe not a good thing, I'm not sure, but I mean, we are built model from the Americans. So we're kind of capitalists. We're used to this kind of capitalist thing about like capitalist efficiency, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think in Germany's like their services, in America, if you have money, they service you better.
That's so true.
You pay tips as well.
That is so true. Healthcare.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like the healthcare system in the US is really bad, but the service you can get, I mean, if you have money, you can get the best doctors in the world. Money can get you far.
And in long terms, it's at the end like if you migrate well, if you blend in well, you become Americans and people see you as Americans.
Yeah.
And also to live there actually because I was there working as well.
Yeah.
There's not many documents that you have to be crazy about doing. Okay, it's not perfect. If I go to the doctor, I would have to not have money because everything charged like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as a Thai, it's not about good or bad. It's about similarities, I guess. Yeah.
I like that comparison. Yeah. I wish to see more of this acceptance and the kind Americans that you describe. Because like I said, the media shows the worst. Like the worst, like the most racist people, the really, really aggressive
I mean, you
people.
wouldn't migrate to like middle of nowhere, of
True.
Idaho, whatever.
True.
Come on, like it's not. You don't have. To,
Yeah.
You can.
If you asked me to point to Idaho on a map, I don't know if I could. Exactly. If you don't go to the middle of nowhere, you go to a big city and like you find your people. I think in the U.S. like you can find such very warm people, which is something hard for me to find in Germany sometimes. But what would you say your people, like what do they win at? Like what part of the culture do you think like, oh, it's Thai people, we're the best at that?
I think like, okay, aside from all those tourist things that we know about, like food and stuff, I say Thais are good at like blending in culture because we're a very touristic country.
Yeah.
So we kind of very accepted about others' cultures, other people's culture. So we get it like try to be blend in and try to accept other cultures. I think that's also the reason why we have so many tourists.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like no matter where you're from, no matter what habits you have, whatever, like they kind of very accepting, like try to.
What do you mean? What kind of habits you have?
Of like.
If you're like a thug and you come here, we accept
And
you.
also like I mean, without that accepting culture, you wouldn't have so many tourists. That's not possible,
Exactly.
right? Yeah, you have to accept everything.
Yeah.
And accept who they are.
Even the annoying Americans and British people.
Oh, actually, that they are good already. Yeah.
I want to finish off with some rapid fire questions that you have to tell me like either this or that.
Oh yeah.
Either Munich winters or Bangkok summers.
I choose Munich winter.
Really?
Munich winter is already warm, right? Compared to Helsinki winter.
True. But the Bangkok summer is just like
it's
brutal.
horrible, yeah. I prefer cold anyway.
Interesting. Oh, crazy. Okay. Public transport in Munich or in Bangkok?
Oh, of course, Munich.
Really?
I mean, okay, it looks good. It looks efficient.
We're looking at a train right now.
but like it's only covered. It's not fully covered, the city.
Okay.
I mean, it's supposed to cover.
And then, okay, Munich public transport or motorbikes in Bangkok?
Munich.
Less stressful.
It's dangerous, yeah.
Do you go on motorbikes? Yeah.
Yeah, I if I have to.
Yeah.
For example, like I have to go to the meeting real quick, then
Yeah.
motorcycle is the best way. But how do you know that there's a lot of accidents from motorbikes?
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Thai politeness or German directness?
Wow, that's a difficult question. At work, I'll choose a German directness. But I mean, if I'm the consumers, I choose Thai politeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what life is like at restaurants in Munich?
Yeah.
When they're just like, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Without a smile.
Yeah.
Different life.
Yeah.
Sunday Ruhetag, which is in Germany when everything's closed. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Everything's closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Would you want that or do you like the 24/7 energy of Bangkok?
I prefer the latter.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because when you work so hard, then you have to enjoy the weekend. But then the weekend in Germany, everything closed.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand like if everyone wants to rest as well, but I think I want to have
They can
some
work
fun.
if they want to work.
Yeah.
Also?
Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry, do you consider yourself a real city guy?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like you're comfortable in the craziness.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Thai beer, as you have here, or Bavarian beer.
Of course, German. It goes Bavarian.
You said that right at the beginning. You're like,
Of
oh, the
course.
beer here isn't that good.
But actually, like my takes that, I don't know if I offended anyone. I actually prefer a little bit of Belgian beer compared to the Germans.
Ooh.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Germans all up top, but just above, is the Belgian one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Can you get Belgian beer here?
Yeah, but only those touristy one, like
Yeah.
Whole Garden and like not the real one.
So you'll have to go visit us in Europe
Yes.
sometime again.
Yeah.
Ong, thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time today. I had a lot of fun speaking to
Me
you.
too as well.
I'm excited to go out to town this evening, explore a little bit more of Bangkok. Yeah, but thanks so much for being on.
Oh,
And yeah.
thanks for the invitation as well.
Yeah, thanks to everyone listening in, and until next week. The Pod Abroad's video, audio, and music is produced and edited by Tim Tehune. Make sure to give us a follow and leave a comment if you like this episode.